honestly, joining the sim skating community has like helped me out so much with my focus.
That's good.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a hard time focusing. Like, I'm not sure if it's like ADHD or anything like that, but like whenever I hang out with you guys, like the next day after I skate with you guys, I'm like, dude, I want to be productive. I want to work on music. I want to do more filming in session, and I'm like, dude, you guys have been such a positive like force in my life, along with my girlfriend. By the way, hi babe, if you're listening to this. Oh, by the way, everybody, welcome to Chill and Vibe, episode 1. We have Ecka Music with us. Yay, it's Ecka! Clap, 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 clap.
What's up, everybody?
So, I know we've been friends like since like what, like last September or something like that. I
Has
know
it been
you're
that long?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, no, it's time fucking flies, dude. And like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you're a musician and music producer and all that stuff too, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I do.
That's that's amazing because like I rarely have gamer friends who are musicians also. Well, except for my girlfriend, she does a lot of like remixing and stuff like that. But I haven't like met a ton of people who like play a whole bunch of games and is a musician. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of goes
That's
in. It kind of goes hand in hand sometimes, though.
it really does, especially with in the genre that I'm in. A lot of us artists and DJs in dubstep rather are are big gamers and nerds.
That's awesome. So like I know you've been a skater for a really long time. You do it IRL, but I don't know anything about your history with music. Uh, what started it all for you? Like, was there a certain point in your life where you thought, "Oh, this is what I'm really into, and I can maybe make a living with it"?
Well, music's kind of always been in the family. My pops was a mariachi singer when I was growing up.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, he was really good too. Like he had a whole band and everything back in the day. And just hanging out with like my dad's side of the family, there was always either music playing or like somebody in like the vicinity would have a guitar and like five dudes would all start singing with each other. It's fucking great. And yeah, so like I've always been surrounded by it, and it was when I discovered punk rock music. It's what really resonated with me. Because like I was already aware of like, your classic rock from like the 70s, the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
grunge rock from the 90s and all that stuff that we grew up with, Blink 182 and all that. All that stuff was cool, but
Yeah.
like it was mainly when I discovered bands like Los Crudos, Manic Hispanic, Suicidal Tendencies,
Mm-hmm.
Alkaline Trio, um and then thus leading me to discover hardcore bands like Death by Stereo,
Mm-hmm.
um Have Heart. Who else am I'm forgetting like one other band that I used to fucks with. Oh, they're more kind of like thrash punk, but they're also still kind of hardcore. Choking Victim, now currently known as Leftover Crack.
I remember you talking to me about that band's name a long time ago. Didn't like
Oh
a
yeah,
bunch of
absolutely.
members leave and they changed the name or something like that?
Yeah, they have a history of getting banned at like every venue that they play at. So when they got banned from everywhere, they're like, all right, well, we're changing our name. We're not. So they went originally were known as, what was it, Morning Glory, and
Yeah.
then they went to Choking Victim, and then they switched to Leftover Crack. Honestly, Leftover Crack's a better name in my opinion.
Watch, they're gonna change their name to Leftover Heroin next.
Hash brown heroin.
Even better. Even better.
What's up, guys? We're hash brown heroin.
Oh my god, imagine getting banned from a venue and then like, okay, it's time to change our names again.
What's up, guys? We're now Zen and the Zebra Cake.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that band name.
Band names are crazy, but yeah, when I found punk that I was like, yeah, this is my shit from now on. And then one day I remember my older brother bringing an electric guitar over to my dad's house,
Nice.
and I forgot what it was, but I checked it out, and the minute I put it around my shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
it just clicked.
Right? Like,
I was already playing power chords and like palm chugging.
hell yeah, dude. That's what's up. Like
And
when I
my
was
dad
a
was
kid.
like, he was like,
Yeah.
huh? Did you already know how to do that? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Prodigy right there, dude.
I guess.
Like when I was a kid, I had a lot of trouble picking an instrument to play, right? I
Hmm.
started off with piano, and then I was in like elementary band. You know, the kind of shit where you play like recorders and like
Yeah, yeah.
clarinets and flutes and all that stuff. Like none of it ever clicked with me until one day uh my dad introduced me to Jose Feliciano. He was doing something on like PBS or something.
Hmm.
And then like I was so enthralled with him. And this was at the time where like, you know, you can contact celebrities and they won't get freaked out or anything like that. So my dad actually uh messaged Jose's I think wife at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, I just got my kid a guitar and they want to learn how to play Light My Fire." And Jose Feliciano's wife actually transcribed the music for me.
Oh wow,
I'm like, dude, that's sick.
that is.
Do you have like I know you just said like it just clicked for you when you put the guitar over your shoulders. Like was there a specific point in your life where like you thought, yeah, I want to do this for a living. Like I want to play guitar, write music, do music production. Like when did that moment hit?
Um, it kind of hit when I got into like beat production,
Mm-hmm.
and that was around like the last few years of high school into college. I'd already been making music with like multiple bands, recording with different bands and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
playing shows. But like when I learned that I could also make music on my own by just doing stuff with drum machines in a studio and stuff with a homie of mine who had his own studio, I was like, oh, this is cool. So I was at my homie's house literally every other day, and I was just sitting there making beats with him. And they're just random beats. Some of them were like boom bap 90s style boom like hip hop beats, and then some of them were like pop punk trap beats from like way back in the days and shit. Like none of it made sense at all.
All right.
But
All right. So the $1 million question, what was your first DAW?
first DAW,
Yeah.
that's got to be FL Studio 6.
Damn, you're hella older than me as far as DAWs go.
Yeah, I think it was 6. Yeah, it was 6.
Okay, so
Fucking.
my first like guitar recording program was Cakewalk,
Mm,
and then I moved to FL Studios 10. This was back when I was in high school too.
okay.
So I was like, "Ah, oh, man, I wanna like download like an old version of FL Studios just to see how far it's come, you know?"
It's come a long way, let me
It
tell
really
you.
has.
I remember like after I learned how to like do stuff in FL, like how to make beats and stuff, I'm like, well, let's see what else that I can do. And then at the time, like electronic music was really popping, like,
Right.
because of Skrillex and,
Mhm.
other dubstep artists that will not be named. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Um, when they were rising, everyone was making that type of stuff. So then I'm sitting here like, well, I want to learn how to make it.
Mhm.
So using FL Studio, mind you, I was using a cracked version. I never bought FL Studio. I was able to through college
Right.
because after junior college, I went to Pinnacle College, which is basically like an audio engineer school,
Dude, that's hella cool.
and like I was able to get FL Studio, but I already had it cracked. So I'm like, there's no point.
Well, you just gotta go legit after that, dude.
I didn't. I was rebellious. I was also on a lot of drugs at the time, so I didn't know better.
Right?
I was like, "Fuck you! I stole it. Mine's better."
Oh my god, dude! Like, I'm kind of guilty of doing that too back in the day because like we were kids, we didn't know any better. You know what I mean? Like we had to do what we got to do what we love. You know?
Oh, I still have plugins that I crack still to this day.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I have a bunch of stuff that I won't say that I have that I'm not ever going to pay for unless I make $1 million.
I
Like
feel that.
I'm like, dude, like my current setup, like all in all, I think totals to like well over what I make a month.
Yeah, definitely same here.
And like some of the things that I use now are like just like stock plugins because you don't need the most expensive like plugins or anything to make your music sound good.
Oh, you really don't. It's funny. Like I have a Patreon, and every so often I'll post like a recording of me just producing, and every single time I'll get a message of people just going, "I'm amazed that you get the sounds you do, and it sounds so crisp, and you're just using stock Ableton plugins."
Right. And like the cooler thing is too about plugins, like they're like cross DAW, right? Like
Hmm.
for certain plugins you can use in like you can use them in all of the major DAWs depending on the format that they're in. So
Yeah.
like so like for example, if you had like a .aax file, you can use it in Ableton, Pro Tools, Logic, all that stuff.
Hmm.
I'm like, dude, I would like try Ableton or like Pro Tools, but I'm so used to FL Studios and like they're still coming out with a whole bunch of like new features for it. I'm like,
Yeah, they are.
nah, I'm gonna stick with FL Studios because like my workflow totally depends on what I know with this DAW.
No, I totally get that. I've only been on Ableton for like 6 years at this point.
Do you ever go back to FL Studios?
No. I've taught people on FL Studio, but that's just because I remember where everything's still located and how to navigate it.
Yeah, the thing that I like about FL Studios is that like their UI has basically been the same for like the last 10 years.
Hmm.
Except they only add like new features to like the search bar with like your sounds and like all the effects generators and all that stuff.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think the most recent thing that everybody was hella hyped about was them adding tags and favorites.
Yeah. That and the most recent update that I saw was they added a stemming feature to
Mhm.
FL Studio.
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to check that out though. Like I've been so set in like my habits of FL Studios that like I never bother to check out anything else other than like what I'm used to. So like I think for the last year I've just been doing stuff out of habit with it and I've never
Hmm.
tried anything else because like what I do works for me, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you can't limit yourself as an artist. You
Oh
always got to be
yeah.
expanding.
Yeah, that's true. Like that's why like I've been sticking with a whole bunch of like stock plugins
Hmm.
cuz I've been like experimenting a lot with like all the synthwave stuff and the lo-fi stuff and like interchanging the instruments. And I think that's how I found my style to a point.
Yeah, I totally feel you. Lo-fi is really fun to produce.
Yeah.
I love making lo-fi on the side. It's fun.
You gotta show me some of your beats, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down one of these days.
Hmm.
I need to make more. I haven't been really producing beats like that lately.
Yeah, because you've been playing a lot of shows recently, haven't you?
Here and there, not really, but the shows I've been playing were having kind of big. But I've mainly just been focusing on lyric content now. Now
Hmm.
that a lot of people have been kind of requesting that I rap on my music now.
I'm guilty of asking that too.
Yeah, I did it one time, just because I was feeling saucy. and everyone's like, "You need to do that again. That was tight."
I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed, dude.
It was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it, but now I'm just like, well, I got to sit here and actually write more stuff. This is fun. Although, shout out to my boy Cole, shout out to Yente, shout out to SJ and S7, shout out to 86 as well. They've been helping out with a lot of writing and stuff. So big
Very
ups to the
nice.
random.
Do you write your own music? Like, do you actually compose stuff, or do you just like do a whole bunch of sampling now when you're like producing?
Oh no, I compose, I write, I sound design, I record my own drums half the time.
No, wait, you have your own like drum kit and stuff that you record with?
Oh no, I use sounds in my mouth.
Oh, I had a double take. I had a double take for a second. I was like, "Oh, he beatboxes."
Yeah, in some cases I'll beatbox some of my drums. In most cases, I'll find stuff on my desk to like bang around, scrape, make noise with, so that way I could over process it into something that sounds like a drum piece.
That's hella cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about like recording like beatbox sounds, but like, eh, I'm sure somebody else already did it, and like, that's not like my kind of thing. Like, sound design for like composing is way more difficult to me than like sound design for like a video game, right? Like, you're
I
using,
mean, sound design in general is just difficult.
yeah, that's true, but like I would rather like sound like do sound I can't talk. Do sound design for like noises in video games and like sound effects and all that stuff because it's way easier. But like if I want to do like sound design and music, all I do is just like layer a whole bunch of fucking instruments and just hope for the best. Like I just do it blindly.
I mean, that's literally half the process is just doing shit blindly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I even break it down to my Patreon. Like, even the students that I teach, like sound design, because they always ask me, "How do you figure this stuff out so easily?" I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, it's
I
more like
I
a trial and
click.
error thing, right?
Like, literally what I do. Like, I don't have it in front of me, but I have a multi-sided die. I think it's like 17-sided die,
Yeah.
and I would roll that, and whatever it lands on, that's how many times I click each knob.
So
So
you're literally
if it's
playing D&D while sound designing.
yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right, right. So
Sometimes it may be good, or sometimes it may be shit.
I was waiting for that. So do you remember your first show that you played like as like a DJ music producer?
um, for this project as Ecka, yes, I do. It was kind of a funny story.
Let's hear it.
I'm chilling at home, and my ex girlfriend was over, and we were kind of hanging out, and I get a call from a homie of mine all the way out in, like, I think it was, fuck, where was it? Up in like Nevada City. It's like a 2 hour drive away from me.
Where were you
But
living at the time?
I was living in the Bay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like near Vallejo and shit.
Oh shit, nice.
Yeah, so it was about like a 2.5 hour drive from Vallejo to like Napa, or
Mm-hmm.
not Napa to Nevada City.
Mm.
And I get a call from my homie who was putting like a little Renegade festival out there. He calls me, he goes, "Hey, dude, what are you doing right now?" I'm like, "I'm at home." "Why?" He goes, "How soon can you get here?" "Why?" So our headliner for tonight is not going to make it. He's on his way to jail. So we can't find anybody else. We need you to get down here. How
Holy
soon can you get here?
shit. What?
I'm like, well, that's a crazy turn of events. I'll get on the road as soon as I can, and I'll let you know when I'm actually on the road, and we'll try to make it work. I pulled up. Luckily, they had someone else fill in the actual slot, and I just came on to like close the night off. But man, that was insane. So I don't really do this style of DJing anymore. This is when I was kind of starting off with this music and playing more like heavier main stage dubstep rather than
Yeah.
original underground rhythm. This is what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I the thing to do in dubstep was to play 3 or 4 songs at once and drop them all at the same time and chop the faders in a pattern to create basically a new flow pattern with all 4 songs.
That's crazy.
So I did that, and I remember this one dude, like literally like burner look hippie dude, has the harem pants with the hemp vest,
No
got a
way.
pashmina draped over his head, right, with like LED glow goggles. He's flowing, having a good time. But the minute I hit that quad drop,
Mhm.
I see him stop what he's doing. He just drapes and just hangs over the barrier that's in front of the stage, and his jaw's just dropped.
That's
And
awesome.
literally, his face was just like, "Oh my god!" As I'm like doing my thing up there. After I finish my set, I like go through like the artist exit to like go out to like the crowd area so I can go get myself a drink and shit.
Right.
And I turn around and there's like 30, 40 people there just like, yo, your set was amazing.
That's how
Your
you make a
set was
good first
killer.
impression, bro.
Yeah, it was I really did not have any plan. Like I didn't even plan my set. I literally just on the way there because my ex-girlfriend was driving me up at the time, so I had to prepare everything.
Right.
I literally just click and dragged over like 75 songs into a playlist on Recordbox, uploaded to my USB, and went, all right, I'm good for tonight.
So
And
wait,
ended up going through that whole playlist and then going into my reserve bank.
that's crazy, dude. So like with your kind of like shows, do you have to do like a lot of beat matching, or do
Yeah.
you have like a set playlist of certain BPMs that like you don't have to worry about it or anything like that?
It depends on the crowd because as a DJ you're supposed to play and read the crowd and play to your crowd.
Mhm.
So if the crowd is feeling more of the OG style of dubstep, which is kind of more on the down tempo side, about like 140 BPM,
Mhm.
then I'll stay in that pocket. But if the crowd is more of a hype new wave of like rhythm dubstep kids, they're gonna want something more high octane. So like 145 to like 147 is a solid BPM range for that. But I tend to fluctuate because I am what I call a purist,
Mhm.
not an elitist. And a rhythm purist is there to educate the masses. So I play a lot of the new wave shit that's at 145, but also bring the old stuff from back then that's at 140, bring it up to 145, and basically show them this is where we were, this is where we're at now, and it still works together.
And we're just 5 BPM faster, everybody.
Mm-hmm. I mean, most of the crowd really won't know the difference unless they're like the nerdier audience that actually like kind of understands what dubstep is and what's going on.
Yeah.
But most of the time, no one's really gonna know the difference. They're just there to vibe and have fun.
Yeah, that's like if I went to one of your shows, I just go there to vibe and just like have fun. Like like
And that's what our
I
scene is.
like yeah, I like dubstep, but at the same time I don't understand it, and that's okay because like I'm in a whole completely different genre on its own. Like I'm trying to innovate, like
Mm-hmm.
my certain genre that I've sort of placed myself in now. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like I'm trying to get inspiration, especially like when I watch your skate videos. Like I get so inspired, and I'm like that's how I actually got into boom bap was because of one of your skate parts.
Ah, thanks. I love
Yeah,
boom bap.
like
Boom bap's so
the
fun.
like my song Champion, that
Mm-hmm.
was inspired by like I think one of your projects that you released like a month or two ago. I'm not sure, but it had like really sick boom bap in it, and I was like, dude, I want to try to make that. And I had written this riff on guitar. I was like, whoa, boom bap would sound sick with this chord progression. So I tried it, and then like happened. So like
Nice.
I wanna do like a skate part collab with you. That way I can use that song and say that you inspired it.
I'm down.
Hell
I'm so down
yeah.
to do that.
So segueing into skating a little bit, like you're from the Bay. You grew
Hmm.
up in San Jose.
For a bit, mainly Sacramento, but my heart
Okay.
stayed in San Jose.
Yeah, you grew up in Sacktown.
Unfortunately,
Uh,
whack though, fool. Got that bit out.
well, I grew up in Fremont in like South San Fran, like towards Daly City. So
Okay,
we kind of sort of grew up in the same area, but like,
in a sense,
in
yeah.
a sense, yeah. Like we grew up near the city, so like
Hmm.
what was do you remember what like the skating scene was like out there, and like how much did like the music you were listening to influence your skating?
Um, Growing up, I didn't really skate much of San Francisco because my mom didn't really allow me to until I
Mhm.
got into my rebellious phase when I turned like 14.
Of course. Same thing with
but
me.
um, but the Sacramento skate scene, from what I remember as a kid, it was cool. They were really just following whatever San Francisco was doing,
Mhm.
and Sacramento still kind of does that to this day. It's funny as hell. But every time I got the chance to go out to the Bay to skate, whether it's in Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose, it was a different dynamic. It was more, there was more freedom in it
Right.
because like everybody that skated in the city in the Bay, we're all the underdogs because we're all from the underbelly of the cities, the
Mhm.
underbelly of the Bay. So
Mhm.
like there's more to prove, but yet more and even more to lose at the same time.
Yeah.
It was an interesting time, but it was a perfect time for it.
Did you have any like really major injuries like when you first started skating?
Um, a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I was always kind of like the old school guy,
Yeah.
so I was always the one doing foot plants, bonelesses, grabs, all the weird eccentric stuff, while
You
everyone's
did
like,
you were doing like 80s stuff before it got popular again.
yeah. Like I'm over here doing like weird blunt slides on flat ground. Everyone's like, "Why are you doing that?"
Cuz it's cool.
It's fun.
That
Like
too.
I'll land a 180, a frontside 180 over a gap and to like start the line. And then
Mhm.
like as I'm riding, before I even do an actual like flip trick, you'll just see me like power slide blunt, and then like kind of pop out of it. You're like, why? Or like I'll go up to a bank and like Burt slide. And people are like, why are you doing that, dude? No one does that anymore. This is the 1970s, dog.
Did you ever
Like
like did you ever
there was
like
a
go up
gap
to
that
a
we
bank? Okay, go ahead, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's all good. There's a spot that we used to hit that was in front of an AT&T back in high school. It was a
Mhm.
little like it wasn't that big. It was maybe like 3 feet high.
Mhm.
Everyone would like ollie it, 180 it, do like flip tricks all over it, and then here comes me, just fat ass like boneless or a beam plan off of it, just to completely throw everybody off.
I was about to ask, like, did you ever slash on a bank?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. Anything I could think of that I fucked with old school because one of my favorite skaters and always will be is Mike Vallely.
Even though,
And holds it down.
yeah, even like he's one of those like old school purist skaters.
Hmm.
He doesn't like all the technical shit anymore.
No, he does not.
I'm like, but Mike Vallely is still cool as balls.
It's because you got to understand about Mike V. The reason why he doesn't like it is because it's part of his brand.
Yeah,
He's the one skater that still plays into his brand. He's always been that super tough, don't take shit from anybody skater. What
yeah,
skating was originally back then,
yeah.
and he kept it. He rolled with it for as long as possible. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I commend the dude. From what I've heard, he's a bit of an ass. And the times that I met him, he's a little standoffish, but that's just his personality. That's
Yeah.
just his brand.
And
And I
sorry if you can
respect
hear
him for
my
that.
dog in the background.
Oh no, you're good. All good. Yeah,
Yeah.
ever since I saw Mike V stuff, I'm like, that's how I want to skate. So I was doing all that weird shit. Never figured out how to ho ho. Never figured out how to do the ho ho plan.
Oh, that's awesome. Like, are there any like newer skaters that you have your eye on, like recently?
Not really. I haven't been really keeping up with the skate scene like that, other than just seeing what's popping as far as like important news of what's going on. But As far as skaters go, nothing really. The last skater I really kept my eye on was the homie Miles Silvis.
Mm.
I think he still skates for Adidas. I'm not sure what his board company is, but he was one of the original members of the PLA crew from Sacramento. Shout out PLA.
Hell yeah, cool.
Yep, that was one of my Flow sponsorships back in the day.
Yeah, speaking of, were you ever like really sponsored when like as far as your IRL skating goes?
I was Flow for a bit, and
Mm-hmm.
like I had some like decent Flow like affiliations. I didn't really call them sponsorships because they weren't really giving me stuff.
Right.
Well,
Like,
except for Creature, they gave me a few boards here and there, but I was really just hanging out with a lot of the crew because one of my homies was Flo and ended up writing amp for them for a bit. Taylor Bingaman.
mm.
He and I grew up kind of skating like Power In and what was it, Cameron Park skate park up in like the Folsom slash like Placerville area.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah. I know where you're talking about now. Like, yeah, I had to
Yeah,
think about it for a second.
yeah, that dude ripped. And when he
Yeah.
told me he got on Creature, I'm like, dude, fuck yeah. Then I met him at Power Inn one day in Sacramento because he was filming for his Hallelujah part. It was actually the day that he filmed his 5-0 on the oververt at Power Inn Skate Park
Oh
too.
no shit.
That was monumental. No one in Sacramento skate history has hit that thing until that day.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Literally, you felt the earth shake when he did it. Like everyone just stopped skating. It was insane. Like the minute he landed that, all you heard was him riding in the bowl. Like you didn't hear anybody throughout the park skate. It was insane, an insane moment. But yeah, all the Creature guys were there, and we were all like just skating with each other. And it was Gravette that put me on. Shout out to David Gravette. Fucking, he was like, dude, you're actually fucking gnarly, and like the fact that you just body your fucking bales like that. And I was like, I'll be honest, I would not have gotten up after that because I tried to on the smaller quarter pipe, I tried to boneless to nose blunt,
What?
but I slipped off my board and just fell straight on flat.
Ooh, how high was the quarter pipe?
It was about 5 feet tall.
So about like standard for that
Yeah,
for that.
it wasn't tall. I just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, that's kind of how like my bills were like, cause like I bladed when I was a kid, right?
hmm
And like I mainly went to the Fremont skate park, that little skate park that was right by the police station in Lake Elizabeth.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I would go there back in the day, right? There was this like small ass spine. There was two
I
quarter
remember that
pipes.
spine. I remember that spine. I hate that spine.
I
I
hate that
sacked
spine so
myself so.
much.
I sacked myself too many times on that spine.
it was only like a fucking foot high, but the fucking coping was like a fucking metal bar.
Yeah,
It was so annoying. So
it
like
was
I
too loud.
never, yeah, I never skated that. So I just stuck with like the quarter pipes, the pyramid, and sometimes I would hit the grind box.
Mm,
So like I forget where I was going with this, but like, oh yeah, Veils. So like
hmm
so like I had this line, right, that I
Yeah.
used to do all the time. Like I would go down the quarter pipe, hit the hip on the pyramid, go to the back like big quarter pipe that led into the to the half pipe. I would come back down the big quarter pipe, right?
hmm
And I would try and do like an air off the quarter pipe, right? That's next to the bank to wall.
Right.
So I got the quarter pipe to bank on lock. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and stall on the quarter pipe. Keep in mind, I never ever like grinded on coping before, and I was this
hmm
crazy kid who thought she was gonna be able to do stalls because she knew how to do them, right? So like
Right.
when I was coming up to the quarter pipe after my line, right? I lifted up my toes so I can lock in, but I leaned too far back and I tried to compensate by pushing my feet forward to to like to like balance myself out a little bit just in case like I would like backseat. So what happened was like my third wheel clipped over the coping, and like I got wheel bite between my third and fourth wheels, and I flew backwards onto my back at the flat. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm not going to do that ever again."
I've had plenty of those moments.
Like it wasn't even the fact that like I overshot it either. Like I was just trying to balance myself and my foot slipped.
Damn.
And you know what's really funny? I did the same exact thing on the fucking half pipe there too.
That half pipe, I love that half pipe there.
That half pipe was sick until like the BMXers got to it.
Yeah. I remember having a lot of beef with BMX kids back then, skating all the parks that I used to.
Right?
Especially Rush Park up in Antelope in
Mm-hmm.
like northern Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that place.
It's so funny because like I was a blader, right? But I also
Uh-huh.
had skater friends, and we used to go to the skate park. We actually went to San Leandro, the San Leandro skate park. Like that was like 2 3 blocks away from the BART station.
Hmm.
It was completely empty. It was so cool. But like at the same time, like as soon as we saw some bikers try to come in, it was like, okay, it's time for us to go. Because
Right.
like we didn't want to be
Lots
there, and
dead.
then like yeah, like Spot's dead now. Like we can't do anything over here because they're gonna be all over the park.
Exactly. I feel that.
So like, what takes priority for you now? Like obviously, like you have to make a living with music, but like, do you go out and like skate also?
Not as much anymore. I'm starting to feel it as I like age a little more each
Yeah.
day. So like I try to limit it. Plus I don't really have a board at this moment, so I can't really skate if I wanted to. But even if I did, it would be very, very limited. Like, I don't know, once a month.
Like yeah, after like watching your guys' videos, and like I've been watching a lot of Johnny Geiger recently, right?
Hmm.
Like I only want to get a board for the sole purpose of learning freestyle tricks.
Those are fun, but those take a toll on your ankles and your shins.
Yeah, and I was like, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, nah, I have glass ankles as it is. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to injure myself. I'll just stick with session.
Yeah, because even though I can't really skate as much, I'll still like go for like staircases, gaps, handrails every so often,
Right.
and I can take a fall, but what really gets me is my knee and my foot. Those are the like two of the three worst injuries I ever had skating.
Have you ever had any surgeries done to fix your knee or your ankle?
No, no. It was so mangled that they really weren't sure how to fix it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hardcore,
So
dude.
like my knee and so what's funny is my foot originally had like arches, like all that stuff
Yeah.
because of skating. I'm now flat footed. Because I went from learning how to skate vert and skate park and all that
Right.
to finding the biggest drop or gap possible and just going for it.
That's crazy. Has
I
anything
really
has
I met my
anything ever
match
like
when
go
okay,
ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry. Has any like big drop or like any like big ramp ever scared you to the point where you like totally bailed on it? Like just didn't you just like were like fuck it, I'm not gonna do it.
It was after I got defeated by the 11th stair at my high school.
Ooh.
That was the one that I broke my foot on.
Yeah,
Me
that
and the
would do it.
homies were at the house. We were watching Yeah Right
Mm-hmm.
from Girl Skateboards, and we are watching Brandon Beagle because he's Sacramento native. He's from Sacramento,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're watching his part. And in his part, he does a nollie heel flip over an 11 stair. That's like kind of
What?
gray. That's like all gray concrete with like some teal like accents in the building behind him and shit.
Yeah.
That was my high school. That was Folsom High School.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And when I discovered that it was the high school that I went to, I'm like, oh shit, yo, let's hit the high school. Let's skate. I'm gonna try to hit that 11. And everyone's like, bro, there's no fucking way you're gonna hit the 11. What are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm just gonna ollie it. It's not like I'm gonna fucking nollie heel flip it like Brandon did. He already did that. What the fuck?
Right.
I'm not gonna steal his trick. I was like, no, I'm just gonna ollie it. So we get there, like 30 minutes go by, and like it's a mixture of me either kicking out, landing and sliding, or landing and just sticking in the cracks.
Damn.
So I'm feeling fumed, like I'm heated because I'm sitting here like I can ollie this. I know how to ollie for fuck's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
So last try, I said, fuck it. You know what? This is my last try. If I don't get it today, I'll come back tomorrow before school and get it because it was a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I noticed that something was wrong as I'm writing up, but I said, fuck it. I got to go for it anyways, or else I got nothing to show for.
Mm-hmm.
And I landed it and I rode away, but something did not feel right as I was riding away. So I slowed down, hopped off my board, and instantly just collapsed onto my hands and knees. I could not walk.
Oh,
My foot was
man.
just gone.
Damn. At least you landed it, though.
Yeah, I landed and I held on.
That's
But
crazy. Like, all that adrenaline must have been rushing through you as you landed.
oh, bro, I screamed so fucking loud. Mind you, this was like also like, during puberty, so like my voice was not all there yet. So it's just a high pitch, let's go! Fuck out of here! Far away, bitch! Really just feeling that. And
Yeah.
then it goes from hype to just going, fuck!
Yeah.
Get to the hospital, they take an x-ray, and they're like, yeah, your foot's, I don't know how to tell you this. So
We
your
have to.
left foot's fine, but you have no arch anymore. So you're flat-footed. Okay. What's wrong with my right foot? That's the one that hurts. And the doctor goes, oh no, yeah, that's completely fucking broken, dude. Like verbatim, that's what he says. Oh no, yeah, that's fucking broken, dude.
We're gonna have to chop it off, dude.
I was like, all right, cool. Like, what's going on? What are we doing? Putting it in a cast? Like, you got take surgery, put some Swiss cheese in there. What's up? And he goes, honestly, we don't know where to fix it because here's what we're looking at, and it's just fragments. It's not even like breaks here and there. It's just fragments just floating at my foot.
Oh my god.
I'm like, so what's the dealio? They basically put me in a cast, like weird cast compression boot type thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then my foot's just been hardened mold since then.
How long were you in the cast for?
About like 7 months,
Damn, dude.
7 8 months. That shit sucked.
Yeah, I told you this story before. I think like a long time ago when I was a kid. We were at the Palm Desert skate park, and like on the left hand side there was this like mini bowl, right? It was only like 3 feet high or something like that, with an extension.
Mm-hmm.
And like I wanted to take a break from blading because like it was hot out and like I wasn't feeling it for the day. So like my friend gave me his board. He's like, "Here, try and skate the mini bowl." I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll give it a try." Like I've never skated transition at that point, but I
Mm-hmm.
knew the basics of how to drop in. I knew how to lean over my board, like how to balance myself, like keep myself level over the board as I'm dropping in. That way I don't like lean too far forward or backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know what? I'll go for it. So I went for it. As I was coming down the flat, my left foot comes off my tail. Like it wasn't because like I was on I was drifting off like heel side. It was just how like my foot was positioned on the tail, cuz I was on my toes as I was coming down. Like
Mm-hmm.
my right foot was planted on bolts, right?
Right.
but my left foot, because I instinctively like whenever I drop in with my blades, my left foot is always behind, so like it's always like I'm riding on my toes, right? So I instinctively did that when I dropped in with the skateboard, and my left foot slipped off the tail. Like I said that, yay redundancy. But I twisted my ankle so far that it fractured my shin.
Oh damn.
So like I went to the hospital, they took an x-ray, it was like, yeah, this is a spiral fracture. I'm like, how do I like mess up my shin if it's my ankle that twisted? And like
Makes no sense.
makes no sense, but like I was in a cast for like 2 months, and I was like on crutches for a while. And like that's how I got the nickname Gimpy in high school.
Gimpy, that's funny.
Yeah, like it became an inside joke, and I learned to like accept it as an like an endearing term. So I was like all happy about it, and like I even called myself self Gimpy like my first like few months of sophomore year. I was like, yeah, I own the name.
That's funny.
Yeah, I have like stupid stories like that. Like, anyway, so like going back to music, I know, brilliant segue.
No, you're all good. Sorry, I'm drinking water.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Has there been like any like close calls with like the cops or anything like during a show?
Um, like on the way to the shows back then, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there was we were supposed to play this house party and we didn't know anything about the neighborhood. Turns out this was a gated community.
Ooh.
But they wanted us, they paid us, we showed up.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what they were signing up for because we even asked, like, you know what you're signing up for, right? We're known to be pretty rowdy. They're like, oh yeah, that's why we want you. Okay, cool, sounds good. We pull up to the gated community and there's already three cops outside the gate.
Wow.
They're like,
Word gets out quick, dude.
yeah, they're like, we heard of you and we heard of your reputation. I don't know who hired you to come through here and play here in our neighborhood, but we're not letting you through.
But you got paid beforehand, right?
No, yeah, we did. We still played. We just snuck in.
Hell yeah. That's how you do it, dude.
Yep. Thank God they had a back door that was like right, like easily accessible.
Nice.
So we call them. They're like, yeah, so we can't get in, and they're like, they're giving you a hard time up there. I'm like, there's cops here, bro. He goes, fuck that, dude. We're punk rock. We do what we want. I'll find a way. He calls me up. All right, you got a back door. We have a 5 minute window. Get your shit in here now.
That's awesome.
Now that gated community is now a college living, like college housing neighborhood. It's all students in there now.
Bet the cops get called there all the time.
I think they avoid that spot now.
Oh my god. Like I wish I had stories like that, but like my music quote unquote career has been very vanilla, you know, like I get invited to shows, play for like a case of beer and like maybe $100 split between the entire band. I
Hmm.
was like, dude, that's awesome. But like once I started like really getting into playing shows like as a solo artist, there's this weird dichotomy in the music scene out here where like you have like the band scene
Hmm.
and you have the hotel scene, where like you get paid hundreds of dollars to do a set like every other day until like
Yeah,
they switch up the lineup or something like that. And
yeah, I've had those type of gigs before.
yeah, and like a bunch of my friends were telling me like you should do like hotel gigs and all that stuff. I'm like, you know, to me, like I love playing solo because I was known for playing ukulele at the time.
Hmm.
I was like, I love being known for playing ukulele, but I want to play for the sake of playing. I want to make people happy by playing music. That's what I'm all about. And to me at the time, like, you didn't have to like, sign a contract or anything to do the hotel gigs.
Mm.
But at the same time, like, like in my mind, I thought it was like this like corporate thing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it can totally seem like that,
I'm like, dude,
but
I'm not about
contracts
that
just
kind of
make you
stuff.
contracts just make you seem and make you look more professional.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, but at the same
Plus,
time,
they're also there to protect you and the parties involved as well.
yeah, that's true. But at the same time, like, dude, I don't want to be restricted in what I can and can't play because, like, back in those days, like, BMI and ASCAP were, like, hardcore on the scene out here.
Mm,
Like, I
that's true.
remember, huh?
I said, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like, a friend of mine from high school, her dad owned a fish shop that's now closed down, sadly, because it burnt down.
Oh damn.
But, like, at the time, like, he hired me to play shows over there, like, 3, 4 times a week. He told me, okay, you can have free food, you can have like drinks here and there, and I'll pay you $100 for every show. And I'd play for like 2.5 hours. Like it was mostly me like jamming, like old like jazz stuff, playing like Jake Shimabukuro stuff, and
Nice.
like it was so cool because like I'd go in there. A bunch of my friends would come by and watch. That way they can like they would come only for the drinks and the food because I would share with them all the time, right?
Hmm.
But the thing is, like, I think like after like 2 or 3 months of that, like I got a call from Frankie. It was called Frankie's Fresh Fish, right?
Yeah.
I got a call from Frankie, and he told me, yeah, BMI just called me and said, yeah, you can't play here anymore. I'm like, oh man,
That sucks.
there goes my $400 a week. Like I like that's the kind of gig that I would have because it's like so intimate. I wasn't even in it for like the free food and drinks. I was like, dude, I love this kind of setting. You know what I mean? That's why
Hmm.
I would take that kind of gig over like a hotel gig.
I totally feel that. I used to do that as well when I was like finding my way as a DJ because I used to do a lot of like reggae, dancehall, soca DJing for a
Hmm.
while.
Do you think like you have to in like your world of music? Do you think it's easier to get gigs because of the people you know or how like you present yourself?
Um, ideally, it's the ideal perfect answer would be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
The sad, cold, ugly truth is it's all about who you know.
Yeah, that kind of goes for like my neck of the woods in music too.
I think
Like,
that's just how it is in the general music industry. It's just all about who you know.
yeah,
You could be super talented, you could write the best shit, and it could be sounding great, but none of that matters if nobody knows who the fuck you are.
yeah, that's true. Like,
I learned that the hard way, and I'm starting to realize that as of lately, people are starting to know who the hell I am, and it's kind of crazy.
right? Cause like you just did a really big show recently, right? Like last month.
Yeah.
Who was that with again?
I was for Infect.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember,
Yeah,
and
it was
you made like this whole video about it, didn't you?
Yeah, we my boy Junior, shout out to my boy Junior, who's my camera guy and media guy for everything for my music. Makes me
Hell
look
yeah.
good, even though I don't know how I look good. But no, he's super wicked at being the eye behind the lens. But yeah, he put together a whole like recap video for the last few sets that I've done. He's been with me for about 2 years now at this point.
That's
Actually, no, it's
hella
about a
cool.
year.
Is he
Yeah,
gonna be at
yeah.
your next show that's coming up?
Yeah, he shoots media for every single one of my shows.
Dude, that's hella cool.
Yeah, he's my media guy.
It's so funny that you mentioned like you have your own camera guy, right? Because like
Hmm.
this old band that I used to be in called Sunday Funeral, our guitarist's dad would always come to our shows and film us. I was only in the band for like 6 months, but he would always come to the shows,
Hell
and
yeah.
like I'd see him with the cam, like the recorder and all that stuff.
Hmm.
And like I go to Justin. He was the guitarist. I'd say, "Why is your dad here? Why is he recording us?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I've recorded every single show that I've done with this band since it started." I'm like, "Dude, that's like dedication right there."
That's crazy.
I'm like, I want to never do that. Like, number one, I'm very camera shy,
Hmm.
and the only way that people will actually see footage of me playing music is if somebody else recorded me
Ah.
and they posted it on YouTube.
Hmm.
So, like, there's a few videos of me out there like playing ukulele and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, all right.
That's awesome.
I do have a video that I got a link to you of me playing Bohemian Rhapsody on my ukulele.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much footage of me and my bands or much remnants of my bands because most of my band stuff existed on MySpace during its peak times.
Right? Like that's the same thing with my old music too. Like back in the day, like my old demos of me writing my own stuff were on there, like and Reverb Nation too. Reverb Nation
Oh
still
god.
exists.
Reverb Nation. I wonder if my old dub project's still up there.
Yeah, I just checked recently for my stuff on Reverb Nation, and the first song I ever wrote from start to finish is still there.
But now I'm checking.
Oh
Now I'm checking.
my god, dude. You almost you almost made me choke on my beer from laughing. By the way, it's International Beer Day right now
Oh, nice.
on Friday. I'm probably gonna post this either like late Saturday or mid Sunday. But like yeah, like I've been in this
Reverb Nation. That's a fucking throwback.
right?
I
Like I've been
haven't used
around for a
Reverb
while, dude.
Nation. I haven't used or thought about Reverb Nation in like a decade. Fuck. All right, there's Reverb Nation. I found it. Now let me see.
Don't start calling me an old lady now. But yeah, like I've been listening to a lot of my older stuff. I was thinking, you know what? For the time that I recorded this,
Hmm.
my songs were actually really good. Do you have the
And
same
now I'm trying to
feeling?
see.
Do you have
I'm
the
trying to
same?
see if I can
Go
find
ahead.
it.
Do you have the same feeling when like you listen to your older stuff?
Yeah. I still have some audio files of like some of the stuff that I made back then. Like I still have a couple of tracks from my old bands. Um,
Have you ever thought about like re-recording or like rearranging stuff?
nah, not for that stuff. I have been kind of dabbling and kind of going back to reggae dub,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been fun. It's been nice to kind of go back to my roots. Reggae's always been like my roots as far as like music influence slash inspiration for a lot of things.
Do you listen to a lot of ska?
Yeah, ska too. Absolutely.
Like I think of ska as just reggae but double time.
That's basically what it is. It's the predecessor of reggae.
Mm-hmm.
Because before reggae we had ska.
And then somebody decided to slow it down
Hmm.
and then smoke a lot of weed.
Right. Wow. Well, my old dub project isn't up, but my old band page is still up.
Dude, that's hella sick. I'd love to hear it.
Wow. I don't even know if this any of this stuff is like current or recent.
Like I'm hella happy because like I thought I lost some of my hard drives
Hmm.
because they have a bunch of my music and stuff that spans like the last decade. I know my girlfriend's listening to this and she's laughing at me right now. Like it was on my tall dresser that's sitting right behind me
Yeah.
for the last month. And I'm like, dude, I hate my vision so fucking much because I couldn't see them. And it's really weird because like I even felt around on top of the dresser to see if they were there. I guess like I thought it was one of the broken like SATA drives that I had on there because my old computer died because the main hard drive with Windows on it died.
Hmm.
So I kept that on my dresser and I thought I was just like, touching the old SATA drive, but it was actually my hard drives. I was like, "Oh my god, I hate you Vision so much." But yeah,
I totally know that feeling.
I have all of my old music. I can repost them on YouTube now. I'm like so happy because like some of them I even have all my old FL Studio projects. I'm so fucking happy, bro.
Nice. Oh wow, I just found a page of all my old reggae stuff.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you now before I forget.
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
everything that was
like
done, everything was done with that in that project. So I used to go by Ross Dreddy for my reggae project,
dude, hell
and
yeah.
when I worked in the reggae community, and the meaning behind Ross Dreddy was Ross means king,
Mhm.
and Dreddy obviously because I had long dreadlocks, like
No
ridiculously
way.
long. Oh yeah, they were ridiculously
Like
long. Like you
Naja?
would longer.
What? So it
Yeah,
like went down like past your ass?
yeah, they were about mid thigh.
No way.
Yeah, real nutty dreadlock.
That's hella sick. Do you have any pictures of that?
Um, I gotta look for them, but I know there's a couple pictures on my old band's page.
Mm-hmm.
My old band was known as Rootsman Project.
Dude, that's hella cool.
Yeah. It originally started. So what's funny is I moved to the town that I lived in now,
Mm-hmm.
and I was slowly getting into the reggae scene and working and making my own instrumentals or rhythms as they're called.
Mm.
And I met another artist that lived in the same town by the name of Ja Walker.
Mm.
Ja meaning God, man who walks amongst God,
That's
basically.
so cool.
Yeah. Or at least that's how he broke it down to me. I'm like, that's cool. And so I thought like his project had a whole band because that's all I heard was like actual band, like a reggae band with his
Mm-hmm.
vocals. And he was like, no, those are all rhythms. I'm like, I don't recognize those. He goes, well, yeah, I made those, but I just made it all with my Yamaha motif. I'm like, word, cool.
That's hella
I'm gonna make
sick.
let's cook some shit up. And then we worked on some stuff the first day, and then I came back to my place, was inspired, got on my old desktop and opened up FL, and made our first song that we made together called "Me Eyes Red," which was a weed smoking anthem.
Do you still have that track?
I don't have it anymore, like in my files, but I know it's still out there. So
Mm. You gotta go find it.
yeah, it was a really fun song. Like a lot of people really loved it. It was fun. I made the beat. I brought it over to Kurt, who was that was Jawalk's actual name. I brought it to Kurt's house,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Yo, I got a new rhythm thing I got to show you. I made it myself." He goes, "You made a rhythm?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think my fucks with it." And then I just played the first like 10 seconds, and it's just like a little like palm muted guitar part, just going bum 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 bum. He goes, "What?" And then the bass line kicks in. Boo-doo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo, boom, boom, boom. Boo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo, boom, boom. Boo-doo-doo, boo-doo, boo. Like I had a whole arrangement switch up and everything.
Yeah, that's sick.
And he was like, yo, we gotta record this right now. I'm like, well, let's freestyle on it. So we took a couple of we set up our two microphones, two recording tracks, and we just had a freestyle sessions playing the track over and over again, just recording new vocals every time until we landed on Me Eyes Red. So the hook would say, "In the morning, me eyes red from lighting up me ganja, yes, Jaman, every day." And that was all Kurt freestyling that. And so once we got the hook in, we're like, all right, now let's get the verse. And then we spent even more time just freestyling our verses. And the final takes that we liked ended up being the verses that we had to write down and remember. So that way we don't fuck it up every single time we played it live.
Right?
Yeah. And so for a while it was just us two. I was also our DJ, or in reggae, it was called selecta.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was our selecta and also, the DJ or MC singing and rapping on the track, as well as Kurt. And then I remember we did two shows, like local shows, like near our town, like in Fairfield, Sassoon area, at
Mm-hmm.
like some artist showcase. And everybody loved what we did. Like they had bands, but we were the only two duo without a band, but we held it down.
That's
And
like the coolest thing where like you have a show with like full on bands and you have like, somebody that goes up on stage with just a mic and they depend on the sound guy to provide their music through like the overheads.
oh, I
And
was I
like
was
they
DJing like on stage with
yeah,
us singing and shit.
yeah. I mean, but like it's sort of the same thing, right? Where
Hmm.
like you have like this guy or this duo, but they still fucking rock the place, Like some of the times they're even better than the actual like full on bands that play, you know what I mean?
Hmm. One of the times that we did it, we invited some of our homies that are vocalists in their own bands,
Mm-hmm.
but we wanted to do a live cipher session.
Mm-hmm.
So like towards the end, we played just an instrumental that was about 6 minutes long, and we invited our homies up to come up, sing and chant upon a song, and nobody was ready to see seven dudes emerge from the crowd and just come up on stage with us. Seven dudes passing two microphones around while a beat's being played for 6 minutes.
Like I think that's like one of the most beautiful parts about like reggae too. Like it lends
Oh
itself
yeah.
to freestyle a lot.
And everyone came with a different style. Some of them came with more of like a ragamuffin rap style. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
sang on it. Some of them got real rasta with it. It was really cool.
Like my favorite thing about freestyling too, like especially with like not necessarily beats, but like with more melodic like tracks, like its
Hmm.
backing tracks. Like when you have freestylers and like they know exactly where to accompany each other, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
the lyrics just like hit at the same time, like at certain parts, and they know when to say certain things even though they're freestyling, you know what I mean? I think that's
Yeah.
so impressive, especially with like reggae too.
Hmm. Because the fun thing about reggae too is when you have a band doing a cipher session
Mm-hmm.
with the vocalist, the band understands their roles. Their role is to listen to whatever the fuck the dude with the microphone says.
Right.
So the dude on the microphone says, "Pull it up," or "Will." The whole band just goes bloom, brrr, does like a weird fill and resets and starts the track all over again.
That's so crazy because like it's
If the
like
vocalist says mix it up, they do like off time hits following like a weird pattern, like bum 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 bum, like some type of shit like
yeah,
that.
like the triplet things.
Mm-hmm. Or
Yeah.
if one of them, or another word would be sekel or rhythm, and it would just be the drummer just switched to a hi hat,
Mm-hmm.
and you just hear the piano and guitar do the off time skank,
That's so cool.
like full control, or as we used to say back when I was in the scene, badness overload straight across the board.
I've never heard these terms before, but I absolutely adore them.
Yeah, we all kind of had like our own like calling cards whenever we would pass the mic and introduce each other.
Yeah.
So like there's one time where I jammed with like some of the dons of reggae dancehall
Mm.
when they were out here for a Roots festival.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was at the Ashkanash, and my boy DJ Smokeland was playing, and he had Junior Cat, Major Mackerel, um, who else was there? Daddy Lizard, Peter Metro, like old school dons, pioneers.
Right.
And they were passing the mic around, one mic, but they were all introducing to each other. So he goes, "Hola, cómo está? You know, my name is Peter Metro, señor." And then he passed the mic. "This is General Mackerel, the number one sea creature."
Yeah, that's so cool.
Then he just passed it to me. Then I'll just go, "A fibbity bum, fibbity bum, skang, bim. A fibbity bum, a fibbity bum, skang." Just start going at it. And that's like my calling card, just to fucking just fire off right off the bat.
That's
But
awesome.
it was all vibes. We like there was no like limit to it. It's like just go until you feel like don't go in and just slowly transition and pass the mic off to someone else.
That's so cool, dude. Like, I love, like, especially being a music producer now. Like, cause I used to write my music like purely with my guitar. I would
Mm-hmm.
have to set up my guitar with my guitar processor, record the part, like record a scratch track, make the make the drum track in FL Studio, export it, import it into like GarageBand or something, record my guitars again, and like that whole process,
Yeah.
like the workflow was so like bad, but like I want to compare like the workflow that I have now to like what you described with like the whole like reggae like cipher thing. Like the workflow as a music producer, especially now where don't actually have to record anything anymore. It's kind of like that where I can just freestyle anything I want to, and like, okay, if this works, this works. If this doesn't work, it doesn't work. And like, I love that whole idea of reggae being like this whole like free thing, like how
Mm-hmm.
you were describing it. And I think like the way that you described it just now, like it hits me to the point where like, oh yeah, I totally get how that works because that's how my workflow works right now.
No, I totally see where you're coming from. Yep.
Yeah,
The way that these cipher sessions work,
yeah,
like in reggae, it creates a completely different vibe that no one really understands. At least out here. Like there's some people that
right,
get it, but they don't really get it. Like it's hard to explain, but it's always such a blast. Like I find myself sitting here just watching like old cipher sessions from like back when BBC Radio One Extra was doing them on the regular. Like they were sending a whole crew out to Jamaica, get like the biggest names in dance hall, get
right,
DJ Shawnee B, and just have a whole session for like 20-30 minutes.
right. That kind of reminds me of like the other day, right? I was watching Lord Bada and
Mm-hmm.
like he brought up this video of like these 6 or 7 French guys just like freestyling. Somebody was
Yeah,
beatboxing in the background, and like they were doing like what you were saying, like this cipher where like everybody was freestyling, everybody was flowing, everybody had like the perfect timing, and like I think like when you're in that kind of situation, you enter this kind of flow state, right?
exactly.
Yeah. I think that like music should be like, especially like if you're a composer or anything like that. I think what you should try to achieve is like that flow state, with every session that you're doing, because
Mm-hmm.
like you're the most productive and you're the most creative when you reach that sort of flow state. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
And that like carries over into anything else. Like, like I'm not sure if I mentioned this in your stream or like I think it was Dark Stream. Like I've been skating ING Park, right? I
Mm-hmm.
love that map so much now because like it's divided up into sections, and like I just skate a section and I try to flow as much as I can. And like after a few minutes, I enter this flow state, right? Like I don't
Hmm.
even bail or anything like that. I'm just flowing around, like riding on my board. And it's just really like that feeling is so weird. Like you feel like this sort of serenity. And I think that can apply to like anything that you're doing too, especially with me. That's how like I feel whenever I play music. Like or like if I'm doing music production, I enter this flow state and like it all like harkens back to what you were explaining with the cipher. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's just that
Definitely.
oh, I love it so much, and like just talking about it makes me want to skate and play music. Like, cause they honestly go hand in hand.
They really do. They really do.
So, do you ever like have like a specific song that you listen to? Like, say if you're like playing session or something like that, do you listen to like a specific song to get you hyped up for like a spot session or anything like that?
Not really. I don't have like a set song per se. I do when I did when I actually skated
Mm-hmm.
like IRL, but for session playing session, nah, not really. I just put on I when I'm actually playing by myself like off stream, I don't have music on.
Isn't that weird? Isn't
No,
that like no? I'm just saying like isn't that weird because like if you're streaming, you feel like you're obligated to have music on in the background. Because I'm like that too. Like whenever I stream, I feel like I have to have music in the background when I'm playing a game. If like it has no music, like in-game music, right?
hmm,
But like whenever I'm skating offline, I turn every single piece of music, every single background thing off when I'm skating because I want to concentrate. Do you get like that too sometimes?
it's more so for the immersion.
Mmm. That too.
Because like I was explaining on stream earlier, that like a part of playing session when like especially like for us like us content creators that play session and put session content out regularly,
Mm-hmm.
there's a mental game, there's a mental battle that you got to go through like you would do in IRL skating. Like earlier today, you saw me with the
Yeah.
with that banked up ledge at South Banks. I really
Yeah.
wanted to get that Nollie 180, that fakie, no, not Nollie, the half cab to nose grind, Nollie inward kill out.
Yeah.
I really wanted that,
Yeah.
but that like I said in the stream earlier, that wasn't me getting mad or raging. That was just me getting in my own head, and that's what skating will do to you. Like if you keep trying and trying and trying, eventually
Yeah.
you're gonna start having those conversations in your head. It's like, what the fuck? I know I can land this. I've landed this before. Why can't I do this right now? So then you
Right?
try to cycle through every single contributing factor. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
As to why you can't land it, but then nothing makes sense. So then you go back into the loop of why can't I land this?
Right? Okay, so like I have to admit this, right?
Mm-hmm.
During when I was doing the King of the Road challenges, for those of you who are listening who don't know what King of the Road is, Session Skate League put on this event called King of the Road where you had to do 50 challenges and they're like judging everything and all that stuff. But anyways, of course I picked to do the 900, right?
Yeah.
So I did it on the vert ramp Spargo gave me. But the thing is, I had never done a 900 on that ramp. The only 900 I'd ever done was on the shitty FDR map.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't used to flying over the deck because Spargo's vert ramp doesn't have any vert on it per se. Like it goes up to the point where like you can still treat it as like a mini ramp, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually have to pocket your ollie to go back in clean.
Oh damn.
So I had the hardest time with the 900 because I'm used to going completely vertical, right? On the
Mm-hmm.
FDR amp. So every single time I would attempt it, I would actually kick turn the last 180. And
Oh
I
damn.
I was so stubborn that I didn't want to change my settings at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna film it in such a way that I can ollie late and nobody can tell the difference. So I can get that last 180 in clean. And when I got that 180 and I watched it back, I ollied before the coping. Like, I didn't snap off the coping, I ollied before the coping, I
Oh
think.
shit.
And the crazy part is, instead of carving the nine like I usually do, I went straight up and down.
Oh damn.
I was
That's
like,
right, you
dude,
did. And I remember seeing the clip now, yeah.
like, and that, like, I still have the file. I still have the file on my computer. It's called the cleanest 900 I've ever done. I'm like, dude, hell yeah.
That was really that was really clean.
Like the coolest thing is too, like I boned the last like 360 of it.
That's right, you did. Yeah, I remember that.
I had to do that so like my back truck wouldn't clip the coping. I
Oh
didn't even
shit, you
realize
remember
I
that.
was doing that
That's
because
tough.
like yeah, I didn't even realize I was doing that because like I was holding the input like where you spin faster in the air,
Mm-hmm.
and that automatically makes you like bone if you're like spinning like in the opposite direction. So I was like, "Oh my god, I got lucky with that."
Yeah, those challenges are tough.
My okay, I have to admit my favorite one was the mini ramp session in Pier 7.
I figured that would be your favorite one.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of the vert ones, I'm like, yeah, Decaf's got that. Decaf's got that one too.
I'm so proud of I'm so proud of that clip though. Like initially, like the first clip that I had, like I tried to do a 540 back, try to do a 540
Mm-hmm.
to end the line, but I kept landing awkwardly because it's such a tight space, and I kept hitting the side of the transition coming back into flat. I kept slowing down. Like I would make it, but I would slow down instantly. I'm like, oh, dude, fuck you. So I was like, okay, I'll just do a bunch of lip tricks since I just learned how to do them.
Yeah.
But no, like I gotta tell you this because like, excuse me. Ooh, that foam's getting to me. I gotta tell you this because like I know I said this before we started recording. Skating with you and the boys,
Mm-hmm.
even though I'm one of the few girls on in the session community, like you guys make me a better sim skater and a better musician and person because like this is the kind of community that I want to be a part of, and I'm glad I'm a part of it because honestly, when I was in the music scene out here, and I don't know if anybody from the music scene where I live is gonna listen to this or not. I'm glad that I left the music scene and started doing my own stuff and pursuing what I like. That's how I found you guys. And I'm a better person because of you guys and my girlfriend.
Hell yeah.
Like I'm way more I think like skating changes your mentality, right? Like
Definitely does.
you want to go for this certain trick. You want to get it done. You want to get it as clean as possible. And that skating mindset has actually like protruded itself into my music. Like I started to pay more attention to my mixing, my frequencies, the way that I pan my instruments, how wide my track sounds, how narrow it sounds at times. Like I have only you, Odie, and the session community to blame for that. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Sorry, not sorry.
Oh man,
You
there's
know,
a
you're
whole.
actually like the third or fourth person to tell me that, and like I'm honored and I appreciate it, but I don't know what I did.
All I gotta
I'm just
say
a really
is
technical I'm just a really technical person.
all I gotta say is you make me want to be a better musician, a better skater, and that has evolved into me wanting to be a better person.
I
And I can't
appreciate
thank
that.
you. I can't thank you and the session community enough for that. You know what I mean?
No, of course. That's why we do it.
There's a million more questions and a million more things that I want to talk to you about. Maybe we can make this into a 2 or 3 parter. Who knows?
I'm
But
down.
you guys, we've been chilling with Ecka Music. I will put all of his links in the description when I post this video. Thank you guys so much for watching the first episode of Chillin' Vibe. I am decafWave. That has been Ecka Music. Ecka, do you want to shout out anything that you're currently doing or anything like that? Feel free to do so.
Yeah, shameless self plug here, I guess. Check me out, Spotify, SoundCloud, anywhere that you listen to your music. I'm there. Just look up Eka. For the frog. Um, shout out to shout out to the fam, the Fuckhead United's Ray fam. Shout out to the Vital Crew. Shout out to 44 Live. Shout out 86 SR SJ Yinte Cole the Seventh Collective, Amina, all the crews, TAK, PKT. Um, yeah, look out for the mixtape. It's coming out soon. And yeah, check me out on Twitch. I
All
stream
the
myself smoking weed.
all the links will be down in the description. I can't fucking talk anymore, dude. I think the beer's getting to me. All the links
It's
will
all
be
good.
all the links will be down in the description, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is Decaf Wave and Eka Music signing out. Hey, by the way, can I get some ribbits in the comments section, please? All right, see you guys. Take care. See you next time.